Greetings everyone and welcome back. This is Marco and today we're taking a look at the Avanar 135mm 2.8. Those of you who follow me on Instagram might remember that a few months ago I bought a box of stuff, and inside that box of stuff one of the items was this Avanar 135mm 2.8. As always, I did my research, but there is no information about this brand on the internet. Some speculate that it might be a European rebrand of Chinon, a Japanese lens manufacturer founded in 1962 if I remember correctly and later acquired by Kodak. In fact, the Chinon 135mm 2.8 is aesthetically identical to the Avanar. If by any chance you happen to know anything more about the brand, feel free to share your knowledge in the comments below. Meanwhile, let us take a closer look. The body is made of metal and it weighs 400 grams. It is 87 millimeters long when focused to infinity and 101 millimeters when fully extended, with a 55 millimeters front thread, plus as many vintage 135 millimeter lenses. It has a built-in sun hood. The Aries has 6 blades and the aperture is clicked, and it goes from f2.8 to f22 with a manual automatic switch for auto exposure. Focusing ring has a nice grippy rubberized texture and it turns roughly 240 degrees. Minimum focusing distance is 1.5 meters, which is fairly standard for this kind of lens. The one I got has a M42 screw mount, so it's easily adaptable to most modern digital cameras. The build quality of this lens is honestly great. It's compact, not too heavy, precise, and overall feels really solid. It was built to last and no corners were cut in the production line. Sharpness is surprisingly good wide open at f2.8. even if it does fall off a bit toward the edges, and there is some vignetting. By f5.6 it gets pixel sharp in the center, and edges and vignetting improve as well. Background blur is not the prettiest, but it's not distracting either, and bokeh balls are soft and uniform. Chromatic aberration is definitely present and noticeable wide open, and it can be seen up to f5.6 on high contrast areas. The Dyna coating, whatever that is, does a great job at controlling flares and ghosting, even when shooting towards the sun or shining a light directly into the lens. And now, let me show you some samples. also did a quick test comparing the Avanar to the Konica Xenon f2.5 and the Yashica ML 2.8. As expected, the Konica is the sharpest and brightest, so much so that I had to compensate by shooting at lower ISO. The Avanar is a very close second in terms of sharpness, followed by the Yashica in the last place. The Avanar also has the coldest colors, while the Konica has the warmest. You all know by now how much I like to try, well, basically anything, because out there's plenty of third-party no-name lens that you can buy for next to nothing that are actually pretty cool for one reason or another. Some are quite odd and produce very unique images, while others are just solid, decent lenses, well built with that vintage character that we like. So once more, I want to encourage you to go to your local flea market or secondhand shop or whatever and buy a lens you know nothing about. You might love it, you might hate it, but anyways, the experience alone will be worth it. Oh, and the Avanar, it's, well, a good lens. It's sharp, it's very well built, coatings are great. Maybe for me, for my personal taste, colors are a little bit too cold, and yes, there is some chromatic aberration, but overall, it's a good lens. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!